right, and we are live now.
Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Comedy Cellar Nightly, or should I call it Whitely? What the hell? We're in the middle of the riots. We've had fantastic diversity of booking, and then all of a sudden tonight, was everybody's out protesting except for you racists are home.
Yeah. Oh, no, we got a curfew. We got an 8:00 curfew. No.
Oh no. Oh, is that what it is? Okay, so Greg.
Yeah.
Why are there two Greg Stones?
That's because he's in my house using my iPad.
Yeah.
Andy's in my house.
Andy Fiori, Greg Stone, and Tom Thakkar. Is that the right? Is that the right name to pronounce Thakkar?
You got Thakkar, yeah.
Thakkar, yeah, Thakkar. So anyway, and you guys are both in the house together. Greg Stone and Greg Stone are in the house together. Change Andy Fiori. So what's up, everybody? Where are you guys on the events of the day? Or unless you want to be funny.
I mean,
let's be good. Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Saturday, White.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty rough. So I just been drinking all day. It was kind of the only answer. It's just been a rough week, you know. How are you holding up?
Well, me?
Yeah.
Who are you talking to? I'm fine. You know, I mean, it's the same. It's like the days blend in together. I could totally see like waking up and I'm 80 years old and like it's just like the time just shot by. It's just
they do blend.
I don't know what day it is, what week it is, what month it is. Now I'm worried. I mean, I got a lot of flack about this, but I think people are coming around. What happens if everybody gets sick again after these protests?
Yeah. I mean, it's outside, and apparently it's way harder to get it outside. But if people are neck to neck, it's probably going to be pretty bad. But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think
they're all packed together like it's a concert festival, you know?
Yeah, but apparently, I mean, just what I heard is that in China there was like only one case where somebody got it while they were outside. I don't know how they'd prove that though.
Yeah.
Well, China always seems reliable with their numbers.
Me trying to just be positive as I can about this. We are living a different life than we did before this, right? Like there were no masks before this. There was no social distancing at all before this. So I'm hoping just even those little improvements will keep us from spiraling out of control. And
a
also,
lot of people aren't even doing that shit when they're supposed to be. I just flew for the first time since all this happened. I'm in Indiana right now, and I flew from LA to Indiana. And people on the plane, even though when they tell you you're supposed to be wearing a mask, they just weren't even on the plane, and nobody gave them any shit because. They had the look on their face of like, God, I hope somebody fucking tells me to wear a mask. I can't wait. And then nobody did, because if there's a problem, we have to land the plane so they can.
Jesus Christ.
So
at least there's air marshals.
Let me show you guys. Tell me what you think. So this is. Does anybody know what this is? You seen that?
I'm still waiting.
There we go.
Whoa!
It looks like Israel. If I can see the flag.
That's the Louvre.
Is that a social distancing protest?
The headline is thousands of people protesting Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu while observing social distancing. So they're all distant apart. So now, to my mind, and this for some reason this is a couple weeks old and not being brought up now by anybody other than myself, as far as I know, but this is quite powerful.
Very.
And it's not, they don't have to compromise protesting. And they're also showing that no matter what their cause is, they're still prioritizing innocent life above everything else. And so seeing this, I don't see how they can defend what they're doing. Nobody would ask them. I mean, at this point, maybe I would even say, you know, I'm not sure how long the protest should go on, even to take any risk. But, you know, just to review, people were not able to see their loved ones in their final hours in hospitals.
Yeah.
People were not able to go to funerals.
Yeah.
People were not like Orthodox Jews and stuff were not allowed to pray, which is all fine with me. But just to put it in context, you know, Jews historically took death rather than give this stuff up. So this is quite important to them, just as these protests are important to all of us who believe in this cause. But that's the whole point of the Constitution, is that there's no special right that you get because your cause is more valued or we agree with your cause or whatever. So whatever your rights are, they're not supposed to depend on your point of view, meaning that, sound crazy, that a bunch of white supremacists would have just as much right to protest now as people protesting George Floyd. And that is the way the Constitution is written. That's the way it is. And what we're seeing now is a total abandonment by our leaders of everything they told us, pretending they didn't tell everybody no to everything they didn't really care about. Now this they agree with. And the truth is, it wouldn't surprise me if more people got sick and died because of this than would be shot unarmed by the cops in 30 years. I mean, that's totally possible. Now, maybe you're right, because the data is that it's hard to get outside, in which case, if the data says it's okay, then let everybody go outside and do whatever they want.
Yeah, that's the tricky part is, and I think that's going to start, I think people are going to push for it to open up. But it is funny that just 2 weeks ago, the same people who, and not the same people, but a lot of people who were bitching that everything should be open up are using the argument, like, now we're going to have an outbreak. It's like, you can't fight both of those. You gotta, pick one of the sides. But if a lot of people are wearing masks out there though too, and if that's the way to do it, that's the way people should do it. But you can't make everybody do what you want them to do.
I saw a lot of people not wearing masks today on TV, a lot. And I'm just saying, when I see that protest in Israel, I'm saying, you know what? Nobody's asking you not to protest. You totally could have organized a protest. It would have been just as powerful, if not more.
So do you think it's is the virus, did we overreact? Is it as bad as we were first thought to believe? Because I see a lot of people doing normal things, gathering in big groups, and I guess we'll see the numbers spike.
We'll know in 2 weeks.
The sun thing is big too. Apparently it's,
but I mean, no, what do you, I mean, so also, depending on what you watch, the media will have you believe the COVID took a backseat to the protests. It's like, well, the people who were the most hardcore about staying at home and not gathering were now on the front lines of protests. It seems to me that that's a big crossover right there.
Yeah, if everybody's so hypocritical. I mean, I had people with major journalists sending me pictures of this 100 kids swimming in Missouri, whatever it was.
Yeah, the Lake of the Ozarks.
Yeah, in the Ozarks. This was a state that had almost no cases in a town that had actually 0 cases. And they were going crazy about this. The roofs. And I'm like, I don't know. They're all young. I mean, I don't know. Let's see. And now we're having people by the tens of thousands, I presume, going out here in New York, where we've had tens of thousands of people die, and where the rate.
That's what I mean.
Well, we know, in other words, in the Ozarks, like, well, nobody has it in the Ozarks, so it's kind of low risk. But in New York, everybody's got it.
Yeah. I mean, Queens, we were the epicenter of it. And then I went to the park where everyone was protesting and everyone was pretty much mouth to mouth. And I was like, come on, guys, let's spread it out a little bit here. 2 weeks ago, we were screaming at the right, being like, you're all going to kill us. And now we're like, let's hug and embrace. It's like, we can be here and also just be standing a little bit of apart, if that even means anything. I don't know, man. We'll see in 2 weeks when everyone's dead.
I find it disturbing, because then they're gonna kick everything back. We can't get back to work. Whatever.
Right. That's what I'm afraid of too.
And the other side of this is like, so let's say we don't agree with all that. The protest was so important. Although I can't justify how you could say that this protest is allowable and others aren't. But let's just leaving that aside. The protest,
2020.
Yeah, the protest is so important that the good that's going to come of it was worth it. All right, let's say that's true. In the first week, how much more good is going to come of it in this second and third week? It doesn't seem like this. Whatever the effect of these protests is going to be, I don't think they're going to be any less if it ends now. I don't think. But I mean, it's just, I don't know. And the thing is, what bothers me most of all, I'll tell you guys, is that, I mean, you guys, I assume, are a bunch of liberal guys,
Yeah.
I'm not that conservative.
Greg's all right.
But Greg's all right. Yeah. But the truth is, no, everybody's just even afraid to say these things out loud. That's what
absolutely.
Really, it's like they're gonna think I'm a racist because I don't think that. And who's gonna die? It's gonna be black people who are gonna die. Like, I'm just like, there's no. You just can't say what you think, and nobody does, and that's like, I don't know if you guys know Andrew Sullivan wanted to write a column. He does a weekly column in New York Magazine, and he's an interesting guy because he's the guy most responsible for gay marriage. Mm-hmm. Big Obama supporter, quite liberal on things, but he is not. He's written critically of like Kaepernick, and he's trotted out a lot of the statistical evidence showing that there may not be racial bias in unarmed police shootings. That's what he says. But he's quite a respected. He's not allowed to write a column this week. It came out. New York Magazine won't let him write his column, and because and because under contract he can't even write his column for somebody else.
What?
So it's like there's no more.
That should be that should worry you more than anything else.
It really does.
Yeah.
That's suppression of. That's literally First Amendment shit. You know.
What's really funny to me?
That's scary that they are allowed to suppress that free press like that. That scares me more than a curfew.
So if he can't write for another, if he can't put it out, is he able to put it out without it being monetized?
I mean, I don't know. He can tweet. He can, but I mean, what's interesting is that, I mean, you guys understand this analogy. You kind of train the crowd so to get used to what they're supposed to get used to. So
sure.
When I was a kid, we would hear or read views of columnists like a Pat Buchanan. I don't know if you know who he is. He's basically considered to be an anti-Semite. Basically considered to be an anti-Semite at the time. And we would read Pat Buchanan's latest kind of anti-Semitic column. And we'd be like, this guy's an asshole, whatever.
Oh, don't love Pat.
But we never said, we would never say, we never thought to say he shouldn't be having a column. You're like, yeah, we were just kind of used to that. That's what it was in a newspaper. You would read the views and whatever. Same thing on TV. We were used to seeing there would be somebody whose job it was to give the devil his due, and you might really, really disagree with them. You might hate with, but that was part of the way it was. And there was kind of a thing about a newscast. It was like, you're going to take your medicine. Part of taking your medicine is you're going to have to sit and listen to other people and other views. And somehow it's changed now so that no, we're just going to give you candy. And so what I'm trying to say is, like, we're at the point now where if a newspaper or a TV show does present Andrew Sullivan giving a view you really don't agree with, you don't say, I really don't fucking agree with him. You say, what are they putting him on? They have no right to put this guy on TV. He shouldn't be on TV. They should only show me the views I agree with. I only want candy. I don't want any medicine. No more medicine. That's what we're seeing all around. And it is really scary. It is really scary because people do need to hear other views. They really do.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a problem with everybody. I have this with I don't know if you guys use Facebook, but like, I don't block anybody or delete anybody I disagree with, because one, I want them to see what I'm saying, and I want to see what they're saying so that I know what's happening. Because otherwise, you see people go like, "Oh, I didn't even know we had people like this out here," and it's like, yeah, because you filtered it all out. You took every voice that you didn't agree with out, so now you're only hearing what you already think, and it's dangerous.
And I'll tell you, I go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm just kind of agreeing that I'm in all these weird Facebook groups of like action figure collectors.
Yeah,
and I love it because it's this weird. It's not my bubble, and it's all these guys who like collect guns and live in the Midwest, and they're crazy. And I'm like, I just have to kind of like, when they start saying shit, I go, oh, this is what the Midwest and toy lovers think, So it kind of keeps me like able to at least graph where I'm at.
Also, sure. I noticed we've had a lot of. I don't know if you guys listen to the Comedy Cellar podcast ever, but we've had a lot of famous people on there over the years.
I was just listening to this week's with Howie Mandel.
Oh, he was great.
Yeah.
He's great. So
noted germaphobe.
Yeah, we talked about it. So what I noticed a lot of times when I would have a guest on who's really spent a lot of time only surrounded by the people that agree with him, kind of in that bubble or whatever, they get very sloppy and careless with their arguments and with their facts because nobody ever challenges them. And we've had a few.
Right. That's the
where,
president. Nobody challenges.
Yeah, like the president. And we've had a few shows where world-class thinkers got obliterated on my show, like just totally fucking destroyed because they had spent so long, like no one had ever challenged them on the right and the left. And that's a danger of filtering out other views. You really get sloppy.
Yeah. That's like, I mean, you get that with even right now, right? Even right now, like if you think about it to some level, you own the Comedy Cellar. So a little piece of me is like, watch out. You don't know. This guy could come punch you in the nose. I'm really more worried about your violence than anything else.
You're a violent man right now.
But with it that's why I always try to keep people around me who I'm like, because, I'm very, I'm doing pretty well. But I'm trying to keep people around me who at least call me out to be like, nah, Greg, that joke doesn't work. Here's 50 reasons why that's inconsistent with anything else. It's especially for comics. I think that's why a lot of big comics, their act starts to get shitty because it's like, well, no one's telling them that joke has been used and has 50 loopholes in it.
That's true.
So two things. So first of all, I always do worry about that, especially with like the newer comics. Like they think that I'm going to care what they say, and then they're going to, laugh at my jokes or agree with my position, whatever. And you could tell somebody till you're blue in the face, don't worry about it. But it's hard for them. Like, Judd Apatow could tell me till he's blue in the face, don't worry. I'm just an everyday guy, but I still, and he means it. I'm sure he means it, but I'm still cautious about calling him out on some tweet I don't agree with,
Absolutely. Judd Apatow could change my life in 3 seconds. It's going to be hard for me to tell him to go fuck himself.
What you did to him.
Yeah. I'm not really. Your position is flawed. It's a little harder. It's definitely at least harder.
And so that's hard for me. And what was the other thing you said right before then?
I gotta be honest, I have no
Something
idea.
about action.
I'm really trying to keep it together here. Noam, I love you. I've had a little too much to drink, but I think we were talking a little bit about. I think you solved it.
No, you said something that made me think of something. But I remember reading an interview with Paul Simon years ago. I tried to find it recently, but I couldn't find it. Where he talked about one album that he did that really wasn't considered to be very good. Mm-hmm. And he asked him what was going on there. He says, it was a time in my life when I had nobody around me ever telling me the truth. And he realized it just like, it just got distorted and,
I hate to be a nerd, but that's what happened with the prequels, with Star Wars and George Lucas. Everyone looked at him as a god. And then when he came back and was like, I'm going to do my 3 movies, everyone was just like, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. And he put out 3 shitty movies because no one would call him out. You thought,
Jar Jar Binks was funny. I rewatched some of that shit the other day and I was like, Jar Jar Binks was kind of funny.
Dude, I kind of like Jar Jar Binks. He's kind of fun. I hate to admit to people.
Come on.
The third one was
just trying to piss Andy off.
The third one was at Revenge of the Sith, and that was the best one because it's kind of where Anakin shows you.
That's pretty good, I thought.
And I don't want to talk about this because it's really going to make me crazy.
I saw them all in theaters multiple times, but I was a kid when they came out. I loved them. I'm very young and successful.
Those movies, what's crazy about those movies is the ideas he had behind them were amazing, but he just didn't pull them off because he had no one to be like, hey, look, we're not seeing the vision you have because he was George Lucas. But if someone was there to be like, hey, look, this thing you're trying to get, here's how we can show that better, they may have been actually just slightly better movies. But that problem is it runs thick with any kind of artist. Because once you get famous, no one tells Britney Spears.
No one tells me anything. Nobody tells me.
Andy Fiori.
You can't tell Andy.
Nobody says Andy.
No one tells Andy to stop drinking. That's the problem.
Do you find this about these Star Wars movies and stuff, that the battle scenes are completely uninteresting by this point?
Thank you, Noam.
Yeah.
You can't talk to Greg. I come over and go, hey, can we have a rational discussion about how Star Wars, it might not be the greatest movie you've ever seen, and you can't talk to this guy.
Which, because I have no problem.
Like Rogue One, I go, I don't think I didn't really love Rogue One, and you.
Yeah, we were wrong.
We almost ended our friendship.
That's your dumb brain that doesn't work well because of years of car accidents and concussions. But no, the original ones were amazing.
Car accidents, I'm addicted to them.
This guy's addicted to car accidents.
He chugs booze and he gets in the car specifically just to crash.
Hey, we really need to talk to Fiori about his car accidents.
Oh, Andy, one more.
The insurance is through the roof.
Yeah, and when he lost his car, he's like, "Buddy, can I borrow your car?" He's like, scratching.
Well, here's the other thing. No, Greg, you and I love you to death. I like a brother, but everything that you see becomes your favorite thing that you've ever seen. We did like Trump. Remember, we went up to Levity in the road together. You had just seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and you go, "It's the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life."
It's so funny that you say that. I was about to bring that up about Greg, and I agree with him. He was right about that. That movie.
That's a horrible explanation. Yeah, because that is one of the best movies I've ever seen.
It's my favorite. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I think that's my favorite Spider-Man movie.
It is the best Spider-Man movie they've ever made.
Andy,
so that argument doesn't work.
Idiot right now.
Yeah, Andy, you're a real fool. You're a real fucking fool.
Peter Porker.
Yes.
Noam.
Did you see it, Noam? Did you see it?
I saw it maybe like 90 times.
And you didn't like it?
I did. It was awesome, but like there's certain parts that I like really for the kiddies,
Yeah, well, the Peter Porker thing is just kind of show how the multiverse could be so crazy and silly, and let's make some laughs.
Big long explanation. Sure. Here we go.
But it's the best Spider-Man movie I've ever seen, and John Mulaney nailed it. But what you're trying to say, Andy, is every movie I do, I'm yet to sit in a movie where I go, I didn't like it. I've loved every movie I've ever seen, for the most part. It usually takes about a year for me to acknowledge.
I can't believe you picked that one, Andy. What a bad example to give.
Who was John Mulaney in it? John Mulaney was Peter Parker?
Yeah, he was Spider-Ham.
Yeah, he was Peter Porker.
He was Spider-Ham. Yeah, and he killed it. He was great. He was really great. But yeah, I forgot. Oh, but to your point with the lightsaber scenes, you're right. But I think the problem with that, I think Noam has a great point.
Dog fight scenes in the spaceships. He's on my tail. He's on my tail. Get him. Turn around. I mean, I fast forward through these scenes.
Yeah. You're 100% right.
You.
Well, let me explain why he's right, Andy, because the reason you think he's right is wrong. But the reason I'll tell you why he's right is because the reason he's right is because with these big budget movies, they think you got to have like this crazy fun scene to keep people interacted. Whereas the original movies, you'll notice they weren't like people flipping and crazy because it was more about the art of the fight and they were telling a story. Now it's like, okay, at 30 minutes in, we need to have a big fight to keep people interested as opposed to storytelling. But that's just bullshit blockbuster movies like every Transformers flick that's ever been made.
Same problem with the Avengers, in my opinion.
I am so
interested in the fight scenes. I could give a shit, especially when it's the Avengers fighting each other. You're like, yeah, I think everybody's gonna be fine.
All right. Well, let me ask No, what did you think when Martin Scorsese came out and he went, "The Marvel movies are not real cinema"? Agree or disagree?
I disagreed. I thought he was like an old man saying guitar groups are not, you're not gonna last. I mean, they are good movies, right? I mean, who is he to say they're not real cinema?
So,
but you know what he means.
Yeah,
for him to say that and then put out The Irishman, that's so long, and the guys look so cartoonish, and I liked that movie, but it's crazy how long it is. It's like, yeah, of course that's not.
It's crazy long.
So he also was supposed to do the Joker, by the way. He was supposed to do that.
I wish he had.
I don't believe
what's he talking about
right now.
Listen, I heard like what's his name, Ben Shapiro. You know Ben Shapiro, there's the conservative guy. He said that rap music is not really music. It doesn't have melody. And I'm like, dude, you just sound like an idiot, you know. And he was a very good, precocious young classical violinist. He's a musical person. And that's what I feel about Scorsese. He's this genius, but at some point you have to understand that the art form is whatever the talented people are doing at that time in that art form. And the talent, obviously the people doing these Marvel movies, they're tremendously gifted people. And this is their expression of it. And it's not his cup of tea. And maybe he doesn't like that it's all CGI or whatever it is. It is what it is. But you can't say it's not cinema.
Dude, how many people in comedy have you heard go, well, that's not stand-up. That's not stand-up. Right. And it's like, no, that's just not.
You'll have a
Andy,
fill a club.
I am talking.
I'll come in that room and punch you in the face.
We're talking about how people will come into the comedy show. They'll see Andy Fiori on stage. They go, that's not stand-up. That's not comedy.
No, but like how, I mean,
what is this?
When I started in comedy, everyone was like, you pretty much have to do comedy this way, but then you just become that comedian who already exists. And then you're just being a worse Bill Burr. It's like, no, man, these people are killing. Let them fucking do. If they're bringing people joy, as long as they're not stealing, if you're original and original and funny, that's all I give a shit with comedy. That's what you need to be, original and funny. That's my only rules.
Sure. Well, that's what do you? Yeah, sorry, no.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say what I wanted to ask Tom and Greg what you guys' thoughts, and Noam, you too, about when this is over. I already feel like doing quarantine material is already going to be hacked.
Yeah,
I don't know. Tom, like,
sorry, I interrupted.
But it's like, well, you have nothing else to write about. I have no new life experiences. I have to write about what's going on in my life. Personally, I dug back into the archives. I'm like, oh, I'm starting to write stories from like my childhood. You know what I mean? Like, so. But
my first bit I'm going to do with the Cellar
you just
is hell yeah. This is
we do have the Bobby Kelly setup.
This is how I want to do all shows from now on. Up close and personal. My first bit
back. Up close, Craig. I love it.
You gotta use like a gentle gag. Your points. You shouldn't just throw it in randomly. But when you're about to say something really serious, you've been like that.
My first bit back at the Cellar is going to be about whatever it is I did on the way to the Cellar. That's just what it is. Because all of this quarantine was nothing. This is all just pausing. So people are writing jokes now. I'm just going to wait for a week until, before this thing starts. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I only do my A material at the Cellar. I don't know what you're talking about. Disrespect that stage with whatever bullshit you're talking about.
I think you guys worry too much about being hack. I mean, you're only hack if you're being derivative of somebody else. There's no subject matter which is hack. Who hasn't had a?
Well, that was my point. Is what to what Greg said. As long as it's unique and funny, it doesn't matter what the topic is, right?
Yeah,
I agree, man. Dude, I remember when I first came to the city.
Because there's going to be great. Sorry to cut you off. There's going to be great. Somebody's going to have a great quarantine bit to tell.
I think. Bruce Ard said it, but yeah, Mulaney has probably already got a 15-minute chunk on the quarantine that we're all going to be pissed off that we don't have.
Exactly.
Sure.
No, I think that it's so true. There's no, I mean, I quote it all the time, but that Patton Oswalt thing, if there's no hack premises, only hack punchlines. And
sure. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, people are going to need, I mean, I've got my first live date at the end of the month. Yeah, I'm going to Michigan to do Dr. Grins. June 25th through the 27th.
You need a ride?
Nice plug.
You need a ride?
Drive me out. But yeah, I'm already thinking about like I'm gonna have to. It would be so weird to not talk about this stuff. So it's like you're gonna develop material about it because of that.
Yeah.
What did Dr. Grins get his degree in? Formal medicine, or Craig?
Ha-ha's 101, man. Come on, clap. Dude, let me tell you this. When I remember when I was at UCB.
Fuck you, Liz.
I watched it was at UCB, it was Whiplash. It was like the alt show, And the comic before, literally, I'm watching the show. The comic before literally goes on and goes, "Oh, I on all these comedians doing jokes about airplane food and whatever, right? And airlines." The next comedian to go up was David Cross, who did 35 minutes on airline stuff that was all fucking killer. And all of the people who had been like, "Oh, this is all hack," were dying. And I was like, this is great. Like, this is just great to see that you people you're making these stupid rules and you're not even really in the business. So it's crazy.
Right.
I'm going to tell you guys, the last person you should listen to is comedians, because you guys are so in your head about stuff. You lose perspective sometimes, in my opinion. So
yeah,
when in I don't know what year it came out, like 86 when Eddie Murphy's Raw came out.
Yeah.
I went to see it, and I came back to the Olive Tree, and at that time the Olive Tree bar was in the center of the room, kind of where we play music now. That's where the bar was, and it was like some comedians there. Some of them are still working. I don't want to say their names, but these were the ultra A-list comedians of that time. And I said, I just saw this Eddie Murphy Raw. It was fucking hilarious.
And what did Gallagher say?
And these guys humiliated me. I mean, he's not funny. He's derivative. You don't know. Basically, he's a hack.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was like years later, this became one of the classic performances ever. But those guys at the time, for whatever reason, they couldn't see it. They ran it through their 1986 computer of what they decided was artistic. It's like kind of like Scorsese. And they're like, no. You think in 20, 30 years, anybody's going to think that these movies are not cinema?
Yeah.
I love this story. I've been wondering about shit like this for a long time, where it's what did comedians at the time think of this? Because I'm sure like whatever comes out, comedians are divided about. Kind of, it's pretty rare that a special comes out and everybody's on like that's the best thing. There's usually a few people who are like, he stole that from actually Tommy Pickles or whatever.
Tommy Pickles, man.
And the opposite way too, because in that story at the time, like you guys are up there and they're like, fucking Chaplin, man, a banana peel. They slipped on a banana peel. How does he come up with these things? He's a fucking genius.
I saw Brian with a banana peel.
And it's really true, right? There's
so many Charlie Chaplin movies
thought of that
before.
No one had seen it before. That was genius. And now we look at it like, how could that have been genius? But it was. That was genius.
Dude, one of the first comedians I ever saw in my life, he would go on stage and he would trip and fall right on the ground and I would die. And I go, that's comedy. Now looking back, I'm like, what, he just tripped? It's stupid. But at that age, I needed that. And so I'm kind of glad that guy existed. I'm glad the guy probably almost broke his nose 4 times messing up that bit. But it's
no, do you
do that?
No, do you remember that? Obviously, you with your father and the Cellar. What was the earliest memory like that you have of comedy? I mean, because you kind of, I guess, grew up in it in a way, right? I mean, do you remember going down to the club?
I didn't so much because it opened when I just gone to college. I would come back from time to time, and then even when I got out of law school and I was working as a musician in the Cafe Wa, I would come over, but I wasn't into it. I wasn't even into it after my father died. For a few years, I barely was there, but I was always around, but I wasn't that into it. I do remember like Gilbert Gottfried. I do remember the people who were hilarious. Jon Stewart was hilarious. Chappelle was
really.
Ray Romano was hilarious. Most of the guys who hit it really big, except for Attell. No, except for Attell is the only one who it took a little bit before it all came together for him. He was always Attell, but it was so outside of what people had seen before. It just took a second, some shaping. But like Stewart, Chappelle, Alan Havey, basically on day one, these guys
were Colin. Happy birthday, Colin.
What's that?
It's Colin's birthday. I was gonna say Quinn.
Colin Quinn was always funny, and always.
Wow.
And Attell was always funny too. It was just the staff wouldn't. I'm not talking about for that long, but the staff thought he was a genius, and the audience didn't quite catch on.
Right. I still think that happens to Colin.
Colin Quinn. That was about Attell. Colin, yeah.
Right. No, yeah, both.
Yeah. You were talking about Attell, Noam?
What's that?
You were talking about Attell, that sometimes that the staff thought he was hilarious and the crowd didn't always follow.
Yeah, there was this waitress meeting where my father wouldn't come in at night, and a lot of these people go on late night, and somebody complained, Attell's clearing the room. This guy Attell is clearing the room. And my father said, "That's it, SD. Don't book him anymore." like that. And this is true. And there was this waitress. I mean, I've told the story a few times. I wish she would hear, but there was this waitress named Julia Waller.
Yes, I know this. Yeah.
Yeah, and she, my father really respected her and her sense of humor. And she raised her and said, "No, man, you don't understand. He's a genius. He's a genius."
Yep.
Wow.
Okay, hold off on that. Let's see.
I love that story. Holy shit.
Wow.
He was a tell.
Dude, he's one person away from not being booked ever again at the Comedy Cellar. And
if you follow that down the road, like Attell stops working, maybe he stops being a comedian. That's kind of beautiful. Some waitress, just because she gave a shit and watched,
that's great.
Changed the course of someone's life.
Yeah, I mean,
that's kind of beautiful.
In a different industry.
Yeah.
He was one of the best waiters of the Olive Tree.
You would have been one of the greatest actors of all time if it weren't for that waitress.
I mean, he would have come around again. He would have been a tell. No, it wasn't going to really change his life, but yeah, that's the way it happened. But it might have soured him on the Cellar. You know, it could have had impact on us.
Dude, let's just say he doesn't work the Cellar anymore because he's mad. Right now, when he closes like how many shows a night and is just amazing every night, like that's a big difference in people's lives. I don't know. I think there's something beautiful about listening to the wait staff, and she just stood up and said something to her boss. And
absolutely,
that's amazing.
I can't wait for the documentary about comedy club wait staffs.
I really think it's good. Well, and there's some famous stories about Lucian at the comic strip. Hey,
Jono.
Shawnee.
What's up, Sean?
Gotta wait for his audio to kick in.
There it is.
Shawnee! Oh,
there it is.
Looking good, buddy. Beard. Looking great.
It's a good amount of beer. Good to see no one with any fake backgrounds.
No,
that's not real.
What? No.
Tell me that's not real.
Is that
that's not real. That's green screen.
I believe.
Oh man,
you Noam. You got all those guitars. This is.
I do. That's not my thing. That's.
Noam, how many guitars?
What a weird flex, Noam. Come on, we know.
You just changed your green screen to almost the exact same scenario.
I'm saying like that's not mine either.
Oh,
and by the way, I'm not in the penalty box with the Hanson brothers.
I would love it if we saw Noam's actual background and it was 50 times more guitars. We're like, no, that's too many guitars. So many guitars and so many mandolins.
I do have. I literally, having said, I really could fix up my basement, and it really could look like that thing. I do have.
How many guitars do you own?
I probably have 15, 20.
Nice.
Wait, one of my favorite fucking experiences ever was not too long ago on a Saturday night. I'm not going to say who it is. It was a very awesome comedian. Walked up to the table while the band was playing, goes, "What the fuck is going on right now?" And then we all kind of laughed. And we looked over and saw Noam crushing a goddamn mandolin. And he goes, "Oh shit, is that Noam?" Everyone was like, yeah,
the music's cool.
Yeah. You want to know who that comedian was?
Yeah.
Me.
Oh, that was
Donnie, let's see the scar. Come on.
You want to see it?
We should all show our scars, emotional and face.
Wow.
Dude. Oh, you're looking good, buddy.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
You look great, Sean.
Oh, yeah, Noam, you weren't here.
Yeah, Noam, I fucking fell down 3 weeks ago, and I got in a fight with a drunk staircase and whacked my head open. 18 stitches from here to here.
Sean, are you not going to tell people that happened in a protest now? You have to be like, I was fighting a cop for your rights.
Such an
your rights.
gift. You.
And also, Greg, my girlfriend took him out with my mother.
I thought Liz was going to take him out.
Liz is in fucking Miami now.
Liz has done more traveling than any person I've ever seen in the quarantine. It's insane. It's
Liz
not
is fearless. You know what I'm saying? Liz is fearless, okay? And she has asthma too. While we were talking like, Liz, you should stay home. Aren't you worried about your asthma? No, I'm fine.
Liz, you can't die. You got to be careful, girl. We need you.
Did you guys hear that Liz hooked up with my brother? Did I tell you that? Yeah, broke up his whole marriage.
What?
We're going through it right now. My brother's going through a divorce because Liz came over to my house. She was a little drunk, slept with my brother, and now they're loving each other. They're kissing so much.
Wait.
But
Greg, so your brother's black is what you're saying.
Very. More than most.
Are you saying Liz broke up another marriage?
That makes 6.
My brother just texted me, what? That's crazy. I didn't know my brother was watching this. I thought that was going to be a gag for just Liz.
Wait, Liz, get on here. Liz listening? Is Liz texting you guys? Liz, tell her to get on here. Liz,
I told her.
Yes, Liz, confront us about you sleeping with my brother and breaking up the marriage.
Liz is on a fishing boat.
I think she did the right thing.
In the Gulf of Mexico right now.
Yeah.
She fucking just left the bar in the Florida Keys, hammered. Liz, I sometimes feel like Liz is a retired mercenary.
If Liz doesn't have bodies, I don't know who does. She's definitely killed someone at some point.
She would have been a great pirate if she lived in a different era, I bet. Or now.
Oh, cutthroat.
Come on, does she answer anybody? And by people want Liz
texting me the whole time. She just keeps going, hack.
Liz is the GM of the Comedy Cellar. For anybody who's listening doesn't know.
Right.
Wait, Noam, should we have been putting in our avails on Friday, or what's happening?
Dude, Shawnee, here's the fucked up thing is, I set all these calendar invites. Every Friday, I still get a calendar alert at like noon. It's like Cellar avails. And I go, it just takes a little piece of me every time. I just go,
I have like,
and then right after that, it's the LOL of it.
All right, Tom.
Sean, go.
No, I have the 10:30 a.m. version where I get that every Friday, which wakes me up where it's like avails. And then like, wait, isn't New York supposed to open on Monday, or am I crazy?
You're crazy.
I am crazy. Okay, good.
Phase one.
Phase one.
Fucking sangria, baby.
What's going on? Is there any update on Vegas since they're open?
Vegas is open, baby.
Oh yeah, no,
I mean
Vegas is open.
I mean the Cellar Vegas.
Well, yeah, I think that Cellar Vegas. I mean, what's open? The Flamingo and something else, like a couple of casinos, but I don't know if the Rio is even ever going to open again. I don't know.
What? Really?
Well, wasn't not to talk outside of school, but did it get bought, or I mean, I don't know how much you can say.
By some real estate, I forgot the name of it, Imperial or something, a real estate company, and they were running it, and they're doing a good job. But yeah, I think it was always touch and go in terms of how much money they were losing, and now, you have to have a certain floor of business to make opening up a casino worthwhile. And I think they were hovering around that floor. But if they're going to have 50% of the business they had prior, I don't think they're going to open. I think they're going to open. I think. Oh, did you hear that?
That was crazy.
I did.
Is that Liz? So the Flamingo is open, and I would suppose they're going to wait until they have a vibe there. They're not going to want to dilute it. They'll open them one casino at a time. And I don't think the Rio is, on that high up on that list, unless it's a vaccine or something. What's that?
I think Rio's in phase one.
Yeah. So, and then New York, I don't think we're going to be open. Well, now after these protests, I hope there's no spike. But otherwise, I don't know, August.
Can I tell you? I had before the Cellar closed, I had this weird moment. I don't know, this isn't that funny, but I was sitting on the steps going downstairs, and I was looking at the wood paneling, and I saw John Fish at the bottom of the stairs. In my head, I went, man, one day I'm going to be sitting in a hospital bed, remembering and loving and remembering just the smell of the cellar and remembering that wood paneling. And who knew that I would be thinking about it 2 weeks later because everything went to shit. Like I literally had this thing of like, I know I'm going to think about this and be like, fuck, man, remember those days? And now I'm doing that in my room with the gauntlet.
I mean, like Norman's in at the Improv in Dallas right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's happening.
Yeah,
it's happening. And like, I break into the VU every night and do a set. Every night. Look, I'm not gonna break into the McDougal Street spot because look, there's heritage there.
There's history.
And like, if Godfrey's not gonna go after me, there's no point. But like, VU's mine. I do my 25, like I do anyway.
I've been Godfrey because I feel like I can be looser there. So
what do you guys like performing at better, the VU or the?
This is a great conversation. We were talking about the other day.
If I'm gonna a year ago, if you'd have asked me in order, my 4 would have been McDougal, Vegas.
Oh right.
VU, Fat Black. Now, if you ask me, it is 100% without a doubt VU, McDougal, Vegas, Fat Black, Vegas. Actually, I'm gonna switch those around.
Why the change?
Yeah.
Because I'm a louder, bigger. I absolutely adore, without a doubt. The McDougal spot is like a church, but like I realize that like for my stylistically, I'm a louder, bigger guy.
Yeah.
Like both in weight and in volume, like the VU makes more sense. I just like for like 2 years, I was just always kind of afraid of the VU, and the band was there, and I didn't want to get in the way, and I just kind of like did my shit. But over the years, I realized
when the VU gets rocking, man, it cooks.
And the VU, I used to think that the VU was just people who weren't savvy enough to get their tickets fast enough, so they were like Google spillover. And I feel like that was true maybe 3 years ago, but now it's equal. They're equal.
You're 100% right about that. But I can see that, because it used to be that the VU wouldn't start selling out or even getting many reservations until the McDougal show was sold out.
Oh, and now is it lineup based?
Basically the same together.
Oh, wow. That's
no, just a question. So, no, when did you guys when did you take over the space more for comedy? I mean, I know it was a few years ago, but like, what led to that decision when you were like, oh yeah, we can just do this full time?
What was it? We did it like 2016 or something. Is that when we?
Right. Yeah, that sounds right.
We just
because they were still doing music shows, right?
Yeah, a lot of it had to do with me. I was getting like some hearing loss from the loud music and playing with the band, and I just didn't want to do it anymore. And so that's really when I went the full switch. And then I was able to trade stopping music for a new lease with my landlord, because the music was always been like a thorn in their side in the building, because the tenants would complain, whatever it was. So it all kind of came together in a good way. So I gave up the band. I got a new lease with the landlord. We don't have music there anymore, and that's it. And that's why I play in the outro.
Yeah. The new room is like, the VU became fucking excellent.
It really did.
Before, but it became excellent.
I love the VU. I feel like in the VU I'm allowed to perform I'm performing, but McDougal I feel like I can connect. Like in McDougal, I feel like
100%.
I see when no one is in the background, so I could just kind of be myself and get a little looser and weirder. But VU, I feel like I can be like, oh, I'm gonna just be big, and the crowd isn't a part of this in some weird way. Because I don't know if that makes sense to you.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen you go on in McDougal, and you're like, how many people here don't believe in Black Lives Matter? And you're
definitely not great.
And I want to say that's been my opener since before all of this.
Yeah. And people didn't know what it was. And people were like, what? Where's Tom? Where's Tom? You coward.
He walked out once you started saying BLM.
There he is.
Can we just say, look, these text messages are from Liz Fioriotti. Elizabeth Fioriotti, hack gay. That's
she's right about one of those two.
No,
why isn't she coming on the show? I want to see her.
Exactly. Thank you.
Because she's drunk on a boat in fucking Ego Bay, wherever the fuck.
Oh no, is hack gay the new duck goose?
hack. You gonna chase him? Hello, I got you. Wait, who cares? Who am I?
Gonna make us.
Oh my god.
So what else? Is anything else going on in the world? I can't think of anything.
So I tell you, man, I'll tell you what I miss the most, and you guys let me know. I miss my medium friends. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the people I'm very close with, I've been talking to, but like, there's people like Sean and you, Tom, and even Andy. I won't call you, but I love you, and I kind of miss you guys.
I know. I think about that too. That's like one of my favorite things about the Cellar that I miss, and New York specifically, where it's like you just bounce around and see people and like even after spots, I would be way more likely to hang out around the Cellar because I'd see you guys there.
Yeah,
and then I was in LA for 5 months, and people don't do that there, and also then COVID. So I feel like I haven't seen any of you guys in so long.
Where do you guys hang out more, the Pussycat or the Cellar or the Olive Tree?
Olive Tree.
I mix it 50-50, I think, because I'm a late night.
Oh, Hanlon's.
The problem with
I've had equally as insane. I mean, like the insane nights of the fucking VU. I mean, the Pussycat. I mean, come on, like
yeah.
But I've also had crazy nights where I've like, oh, it's 4:30 a.m. and I'm still at Olive Garden.
Yeah, the Olive Garden.
Olive Garden.
When you hear your family.
I mean, it's like, I don't give a shit if anyone watching this is like, what's better, the Comedy Cellar or the Comedy Store? Because that's a conversation you hear a lot.
I don't even think it's close.
Yeah, the Comedy Store is one big building, but in fucking arguably, the Cellar is better because the store is
100%.
it's not entirely run by the store. They only book the 2 rooms, and then the belly room is booked out by outside bookers, and it's a lot of people just hanging out. It's a great hang, but the Cellar feels like,
Is it?
It's a fun time, but like the Cellar feels like, even though it's, separate buildings, it's like you're part of something. Even like when you walk between the 2 locations, the fucking guys booking or barking, whoever those barkers are.
Yeah.
They do not bark at you if you're a Cellar comic. It's
Yes,
like
you're right.
They know.
They know, just like,
it's a nice, respectful.
Quick aside, Sean. I want to say this: do not do this. Do not. But you could pull off a handlebar mustache. I just want to let you know. Don't do it, but you could.
I got the beard too much, though.
The beard is great.
Mustache.
You could. Goodbye, Sean.
Do it.
I guess I walked him.
If I came back and shaved my fucking razor live on the shaved my razor.
Yeah.
Noam, what do you got going on? Noam, you got a good beard going on, right?
Yeah, it's so gray, and I know it makes me look like I dye my hair, which I don't. So I don't know. Anyway, we were about to open another Cellar.
Really? Where?
I heard this, but where?
On Bleecker Street, and
where on Bleecker though? Bleecker and what?
Between Thompson and LaGuardia.
What was the venue? What was the old venue?
Don't you think too close in proximity? Oh, I guess not.
It was like a CVS, the basement. Used to be a CVS below what used to be the elbow room. So we negotiated the lease and everything, and then there was this risk of COVID. It wasn't happening. I called up.
Oh, this was that recently?
Yeah, it was in February, and I said, you know what, I can't sign a lease until I know that this virus is not coming to New York.
Good move.
And they feel like I was a crazy person. What the hell? Are you serious? That's what he said. Are you serious? I'm like, yeah, I'm serious. I'm not taking any chances.
Great realtor energy. Come on.
Really? No.
First thing I ever did.
Do not open another, even when shit starts popping off again, do not open another club in New York. Open one in New Orleans, bud. Come on.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
I would say Montclair, New Jersey.
Montclair, New Jersey.
Man.
No.
Okay, I'm scanning for a Jew who will understand me. Any, Greg, are you
You don't have to look hard here.
I got a Jew uncle.
Oh, Stone is no.
Listen, fellas, I don't tell you how to do jokes, all right?
I know.
Let me
come on. Sometimes you do.
No, I never did. Actually, what I did with Sean. No, I didn't. Well, I'll tell Sean in a second. So this is the thing. We turn away a lot of people in the Cellar. A lot. And the comedians were all there. And so, and if it's right around the corner, I'll be able to be there and run it. If it's in New Orleans, you're going to have 3 people, 4 people. If the air conditioning breaks, if the bartenders are stealing, I don't know what the fuck is going on. If the lighting is not right, if the vibe is not right, if they're not taking care of the comedians properly, if the food, if the cook says, fuck the comedians, they can wait. Like it's out of my hands. I can't control it. And
it's also a very New Orleans attitude, though, to have all that happen.
But that happened. But you risk that with Vegas, and you send specifically Liz and Brandon down to New Orleans.
You can't send Liz. And Vegas, I was worried about that.
Hurricane Liz.
And I learned some lessons from Vegas. But in Vegas, at least the casino, and this is a double-edged sword, but the casino runs the place. They clean it. They order the liquor. They handle
great room.
So I don't have to worry about operating the place. I just go in and do the show. If I have a place in New Orleans, I have to worry about the entire place, the inventory, the ordering, the straws, the stealing, whatever. That's a tremendous. Where if I was in Bleecker Street, I'm right there, and by the way, I already had the business, and the comedians are all in town. And would you guys want to have more spots? It would be a big room, like as big as.
Of course.
Yeah. No, I have a question.
Does anybody remember a few years ago, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, getting catfished by a New Orleans quote unquote owner? Remember that, Sean? It was called like.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh,
I remember that fake comedy club. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, he booked like all of us, and it was just like a lonely guy.
Yeah, I did that weekend. It was in his living room. It was just for him. He made $150. And he was hilarious. He laughed at everything I said. He was great. You guys should have.
It was hilarious. He laughed at everything.
There was a guy who, Sean, you might, I don't know, whatever.
It was like a fake comedy club. Yeah, he booked a bunch of people, and
What a
then was
great
like,
idea.
we don't know. I don't know who he was, and
That
like
was that week where you were like, "Would you come down here for $1,000?" Right?
He booked everything. He was like, "I'll pay for your flight. I'll pay for your like. This is definitely too good to be true." And then, of course, it was.
Lucky. It was like the
Luckies. That's what it was. It was Luckies. Yeah.
I remember this. That's great.
We're almost out of time. Can I refer to what I think Sean was referring to just for a second, and maybe you can tell me what you guys think, or Sean says it. So Sean can say what he thinks. I first saw Sean at the Montreal Comedy Festival. That's where it was, right? Montreal.
Yeah, JFL, yeah.
I was there with Steve Fabricant, and he was doing like a New Faces show or something.
Outside Steve?
Yeah, outside Steve. We used to go there, and he fucking destroyed. I mean,
Sean's a killer.
Sean's a
killer.
And
you're
he
nice.
You had some bit about the subway, and I just remember that. And then a Donnybrook ensued, right? You had some bit where that was.
I did.
I remember, and I
like a for real fight happened.
No, this was in some routine he had about a Don.
Yeah.
I just remember it so vividly, and I'm not good. So I came back and I said, Esty, I saw this comedian, Sean Patton. He's fantastic. We got to start booking him. And this is when I was really just starting to flex my muscles in the Comedy Cellar. And Esty said, we don't do it that way.
Sean, you were in.
No. Esty told me that. She said when the first night I had an audition, she was like, we don't normally do it like this.
So and I said, well, and I well, actually, I am the owner, so I'm gonna put him on. So then Sean gets up there, and he does 15 other minutes, like not 15 other minutes, and it didn't go great. So I'm like, oh God, now you Esty's like dancing on my grave, and I don't know what to do, and I've flopped. And Sean didn't do it, whatever. So I went to Sean, and I don't know how I put it, but I think I asked, like, you think you could do the bit that you did in Montreal, whatever it was? And this is the thing. But this is what's interesting, because I know not to do this, and this just proves it. He remembers it 10 years later because he didn't fucking like it, Which, and I get it, and I don't blame him. I was just trying to salvage the situation, but my instinct.
No. Well, of course. I mean, Sean's undeniable. He's undeniably funny, of course.
Of course. I thought he was a genius, but my instinct is so much never to tell anybody what to do or how to perform or give any advice whatsoever.
Right.
Because I can identify with it. Also, as a musician, I can identify with it, and that's one of the only.
Well, I mean, like I remember the night it all went wrong. And I'm not gonna say the comedian's name who was before me.
Nick DiPaolo.
But it was Brian Cellar. And I love Scalaro, but he was fucking hammered, and it was a show that was already like an hour behind because Sarah Silverman. This was in 2008. When SD passed me, I was very happy, but I can also say this: I wasn't in the right headspace to get passed initially. So I was like, all right, I'm in. And then it was back it was a different time at the Cellar. It was James Smith was there. Remember James Smith?
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
I love that dude, but he's apparently back in Australia and was sick, pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Now he's okay apparently, but I got passed, and I didn't understand what was actually going on, and one night I was there's no other way to say it than the show was running late, and Artie was hosting, and he was like, everyone just do 10. And Brian, who I fucking love, but was
that's why I was running late.
And was very no, I'm doing 15. I'm doing my fucking time. I just did a Comedy Central half hour back in 2008 when half hours mattered. And was I'm doing my fucking time. And he went up and he did his time plus another 15. So he did 25.
Right.
And I went up after him. This was in 2008. And I went up after him. It was only supposed to do 10. and switched it out for like the 10 I was cleared to do. And I was like, I have to fucking swing at the fences here. And like, I went a different route. And from what I heard, it got back to Esty that I was the one that ran the light.
Of course.
In reality, it was like Cellar who ran like, and like, I'm not mad because in reality, I'm being 1,000% honest right now. Back in 2008, I got passed because Noam.
I didn't know that was that long ago.
It was long ago, but I was not ready to be passed yet. I thank you, Noam, for always being cool about that. But like, I was a fucking kid. I didn't understand what I was getting into. But what I loved about you, Noam, and I still fucking love about you, and why I always have your back 1,000%, is as the years went on, you always reached out to me every time I was back in New York, and you were like, hey, man, come do a guest spot. And I did.
Very
and
cool.
Then finally in 2015, you were like, hey, man, I heard you moved back, which I did. And you were like, come audition again. Do you remember this text correspondence?
I don't remember using the word audition, but I remember when you came back. Yeah.
Yeah. And you
That's
were
awesome.
like, come audition again. And I was like, absolutely. Thank you. And I did it again. And I fucking remember Esty being like, it was okay. and I respect
I love everybody's. I love audition stories. Those are my favorite
But
things.
she
to
loves
hear.
you now. You know that.
Oh, Esty's fucking
Loves
awesome
you.
because I love her back because like she passed me in late 2015, and I remember the golden moment being in 2018, the brunch show, which I was on, and Aziz showed up, and like Aziz doesn't want to close the show. Went up in the middle and did his set, and then I went on last and did my set and had one. It was on Mother's Day 2018. I'll never fucking forget this moment where it was I'm gonna say out of 100%, 94% women in the audience. It was very like, oh, these are all like women with their moms here for this brunch show. And I went up after Aziz, and I had this. You know how you have those sets where you're like, oh, for the second, the world likes me. Where like everything you say hits, every punchline is perfect, every
perfect set,
audience, the amount of laughter, it's the right amount to ride into the next joke, and it dies. And laugh a little bit, and it gives you the confidence, and then you steamroll into the punchline, and they're just with you. And it was this beautiful fucking set that I love so much. And at the time, Cypher would still be on stage. Tom, don't fucking leave! I'm fucking preaching. And Cypher was on stage, and he was fucking laughing, and it was beautiful. And I get off stage, and Esty's just sitting on the stairs, and she says to me, I saw the homeless guy in your bit. I saw him. No one's ever made me see someone before.
Oh.
Wow.
And like that was the moment that like her like officially like it's why I'll always love her because like she's not only like she hears so much comedy, but like that moment where she's like, I saw the guy from your words. That was fucking amazing to me. And actually
just come in.
Oh, we're too long?
No, we got to wrap it up. I will tell you what did he? Oh,
fuck!
There was another Sean Patton story. This isn't much of a story, but just when Paul Provenza had that traveling show called Set List, that kind of improv show.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And we tried it at the Underground, and just everybody bombed every night. Everybody bombed except for Sean Patton, destroyed every single time. And I'd almost never seen one comedian consistently just demonstrate a superior talent for what that was compared to everybody else. People were dying 1,000 deaths during that show, and Sean just every night just hit home runs. It was amazing.
Can I tell you a quick Sean Patton story? I think Sean knows that. I think Sean, I think I honestly think you're one of the best comedians who ever lived. I'm a little drunk, and I'll tell you how I feel. I don't really give a shit. I never told you this. We were at Whiplash, and I was there just watching comedy, and I brought a friend, and it was someone famous who went on first. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was like, I don't know. I think it might have been Patton Oswalt or something. They didn't have a great set. And I look over at my friend, and they're like, ugh. And then they brought on Sean, and I remember just going, don't worry, you're good. Like, you came out here for the right reason. and you went on and you told a story, and like, because you always did comedy the way, I mean, I just
Sean's a killer.
Yeah, and you fucking leveled, and my friend was like, "What was that?" And I was like, "That's what we call other comedians." Like they didn't know about other comedians yet, and you just like annihilated. And I was just, I don't know, man. Sean, I think you're one of the best.
I
But it
love
was
you,
like
Greg.
it was great, man. It was you just fucking destroyed.
I used to think you hated me, and I had to tell Joe List.
What? Well, we had a little tiff that was just two people thinking the other one hated each other. We had a thing that happened.
I always loved
That's such an insecure comic thing. So we all think everybody hates each other, but it's like, no, I love you.
Yeah, no, there was a little thing where Sean had we had a joke, and you made fun of me a little bit. It hurt my feelings a little bit, but it wasn't real. And then I think the next time,
I was
very easy to hurt Greg's feelings. Watch.
No, but the next time you saw me, you hated me, and I was like, well, now he hates me. And every time we saw each other, I was like, I don't hate him, but how do I just tell him, hey, man, like we're all good, like it's all good, like. I don't know. So yeah, I love you, Sean. You know that. So
all right, gentlemen.
Sorry.
We gotta go. Oh, you guys keep going without me, but my family's upstairs waiting for me to watch a movie.
Thanks, Noam.
All right.
Love
Thanks for having us, man.
Thanks, Noam.
See you guys.
Keep safe, everybody. Take it easy.
Good morning, Vietnam. I'll see you later.
Wait, can we just keep going, or we cut off?
I'm happy
gotta
to
go
go.
too. My laptop
Greg's a
died.
room away from
Going,
me.
dude. Fuck it.
Yeah, dude.
Wait, are you back in New York? No, on the 14th, right?
Yeah, I'm back to 14th. We got a rooftop hang, baby.
You guys are still on?
I mean, dude, because you guys, Andy and Greg, are you guys marching in Astoria and whatnot? Because there's a lot of.
Astoria has been very good, but Astoria's been like very super peaceful and like the right way to protest. Like everybody's been cool and no violence. Yeah.
I want to protest when I get back. I can't protest.
Like
now.
we've been marching in Crown Heights and like South Brooklyn, and it's been pretty good. But
Well, no,
I'm not gonna lie,
it gave me the 5% warning.
Wait, hold on. I gotta chime back in. But we peace
Dude,
out.
I've been trying to get Greg to do that Good
Sean.
Morning Vietnam bit for 3 fucking weeks. And it was so funny. Greg went, Good Morning Vietnam, and he immediately clicked off.
It was a brilliant move, a good swing.
But like we've been.
Let me just say also, by the way, Sean, I hear everything. You're one of my favorite comics. You are. It's so.
But what do you guys think about me?
I want to hear the Sean thing. God damn it!
Andy,
Let Sean finish his
That's
fucking.
amazingly. Thank you very much. Can I just tell you, because I was so terrified because I thought you hated me for so long.
Greg? Never.
No, you, Andy.
What? Andy?
I was always like, this guy doesn't think I'm good enough. I'm just gonna walk away.
But see, that's my insecurity because I'm like, oh, these guys don't. People look down on me. I'm not on their level. That's like my insecurity. I'm like, I love these guys. I like Tom. Like you guys, honestly, I'm like these guys
I
are.
love this squad. This is a great.
Yeah,
squad.
I mean,
And
I've
Shane.
called you.
John, honestly, you're one of my favorite guys to watch. I really.
Thank you. I've always called you hefty.
Oh shit!
Now
Now here comes Liz.
Oh my
You
God!
You
are
sick
all
fuck.
fucking assholes. Let me just say that. All y'all are assholes.
Fuck you.
Unbelievable. Mush, come on. Come to my defense. All
Fuck
y'all.
yeah. Oh, I hate Sunshine Liz.
Wait, Liz,
You got a tan,
is
Liz.
this Miami Key West, Liz?
This is, yeah, it is.
It is
Yeah.
fucked
Fucking
up that you
Scarface
fucked
Liz.
Greg's dad or whatever.
Liz, did you just chainsaw a guy's leg off in a shower? There it is.
I might have. Be careful.
Last time I saw you, you were in Sacramento. Look
Yeah,
at this
I
scar. Look
Liz.
at it.
It looks so good.
Oh, LF, by the way.
Yeah.
Caitlin
Negative
did a
on
good
the
job.
antibodies.
Negative.
Oh, yeah.
on- Oh, motherfucker. Really? Shit.
I got the antibody test and it came back negative. So I guess I never had it the whole time.
That means that I should probably. I thought if you had the antibodies, that I would think like I had it because
I
I
know.
said that last night with you.
Sean, that last night, me and Liz were at fucking O'Hanlon's East. We were fucking hugging and
Oh,
pushing each other into
everybody.
the bushes. And
Everybody, we like everyone on the street. We're like, we're all gonna die. We were every
yeah.
random person
Oh.
in the bar. Yeah.
I got my test back. Did I tell you?
AIDS?
Here we go.
All hot body, baby. I got 50% hot body. Party on, Wayne. Party on, Garth.
Wait, Lizard, when are you coming back to New York?
I don't know.
Got 4 more stops to make.
Yeah,
I know, right? You have to go to
just-
fucking Iceland and then.
I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna see how many miles I have. I don't know. I don't know. It's maybe July. Like honestly, I don't think the cellar is gonna open until maybe middle of July, August. So maybe
Okay.
July.
Well,
That's
I
actually
already
sooner than I
missed the
thought.
shit out of you, but the idea of maybe walking into the city and just hanging out was
Oh,
some
fuck yeah.
sort of fucking.
Yeah, I know.
Some
Dude,
sort
who
of
posted?
fucking.
Somebody posted that it was all boarded up. Was that the Cellar
Yeah.
Instagram?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's
I didn't-
depressed. Like the whole, just the whole thing boarded up. I was like, oh, that depresses me.
I didn't put it on Instagram. But yeah, we did on Monday. We did. we boarded everything up, and I think like Russ Maneve posted it on his Facebook.
Yes, that's what it was.
He was
That's what
out
it
there
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Attell, Nick Griffin,
Right.
Outside Steve, and
Did you
maybe
know-
and Just Cal.
Just
Do you know-
now.
What?
you
Stone?
know-
What? Yes, Stone. What? Stone? Stone.
Russman. My microphone's broke, but Russman is my cousin. Did you know that?
Is that right?
Wait,
It's a
Greg,
blatant.
Greg,
he's
Greg.
lying.
Greg.
He's lying.
Really? Really?
Yeah, we used
Oh,
to
that's
go
a
to
good Liz, really.
Really?
we used to go to family parties together and hug.
You're a pathological liar. You fucking
Liz, I
liar.
tried real hard to get a Cellar New Orleans opened. I tried.
I
real
know it was so good. It was. I appreciate that.
But
I
it-
do appreciate
That
that.
would be amazing.
You should just
Yeah.
open one.
Oh.
Yeah, I tried to piggy off into getting
This
a
needs more
Montclair,
work.
New Jersey one.
Here's what you got to do, Liz.
Dude,
Open.
I love that
Get it running
conversation. I
good.
love people's audition stories. I love hearing
Yeah.
Yeah.
how everybody like got in or like who recommended them and whatever.
No, this was a good one. This
that
was a
was Sean. Yours was great. That Noam saw it. I love that. That was really
Can I
cool.
tell mine?
Oh, it's a
Yes.
two-party. Yeah,
Let
Tom,
me
let's
grab
tell
a.
you
I'm
yours.
gonna grab a claw.
We
for
were like
one.
Tom Brady. Or like, it's
Claw. What flavor?
car.
I got the claw.
Get it. Get
In
it.
Indiana, I'm
Let's
getting
re-up.
So
We
mine
were like,
was,
I used to open for Nikki Glazer, and she did me a favor. for good work this year.
Sean, you almost picked the right one. It was Wolf.
Wow. Wow.
And then
Mush.
Tom was like,
Mush, aren't you
Liz,
supposed
you
to
look
be?
great. Are you in Miami?
Mush, shouldn't you be opening for? Aren't you supposed to be doing comedy tonight? What are you doing?
Oh no, that's not happening.
Why?
The club doesn't want people from out of city, even though I'm living here right now. I'm not a local comic. I'm a New York comic, apparently, even though I've been here for the last 3 months.
Yeah, own it, bro.
Mush.
Fuck that.
You're a New York comic. All right, Mush. That's what's up. Stone, thank you for the up close and personal. It looks great.
Hell
You look
yeah,
great.
dude.
I
I think
really feel like
the only way to do it, bro.
I just want to apologize to the 4 people still
How can I
watching
do
this.
that?
How's everyone doing? Welcome to the show.
It is
Up close-
HD.
Up close, Greg Stone.
I can see through the wall.
Can I tell you my audition story? It's real
if you
quick.
slowly do it
Please.
while you do it.
Greg, you're
Oh,
like
yeah.
Greg Kinnear.
Oh my god.
How's everyone doing?
Yeah, Greg
there
came
we
over.
are.
Before you said it, Greg, you came over to my house, and I don't know what we were high, and we ordered pizza, and you went. So, I got past at the Cellar last night. I went great. I feel like you were nervous to tell me for some reason.
Yeah, because I do so much better than you. I don't want you to feel bad.
Wow.
I mean, that's blameless.
What's up, Greg?
Hey, I'm a little drunky, baby. There we
I
are,
know.
October
I-
30.
Don't even remember your audition. I mean, I don't like to
No one
ever
does.
watch auditions.
Yeah, because you don't watch them.
I hate stresses me out, man. I don't
Yeah,
like
they're
it.
stressful. I watched.
Dude,
I only watched
Liz,
like
I
one.
do. Liz,
And the
I do
person
have
that you
when I. Sorry, Tom.
Oh no, sorry. We were at the same time. I realized also what I said was wrong. I watched 2, and one person got passed and one didn't, and it's stressful.
Can I tell you what I
Yeah.
watched?
Dude, I get those no passes have to be brutal.
It's too much for me. I can't deal with it.
I watched a comic so bad, but I felt so bad for them that I just laughed at every single thing they said as their audition. And I think because I laughed so hard, it made SD pass them. So passed, but they were so bad. And I was like, this is hilarious because they were very nice.
Rami Youssef.
I want to know who that is right now, because if it's someone I hate, you need to text in the group right now who that is.
Text our group.
And add much.
Ray Romano Jr. with Ray's kid. Ray's kid sucks. He's just doing Ray. He's like,
Ray Romano.
This is what I love about the Cellar, where like every now and again you're like, how the fuck did this happen?
And now we know we blame Greg Stone for
you know
being
what
laughy. Asshole.
I thought of the Stone brothers the other day. I was like,
Stone and Stone.
Twins comedy. Hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I got past the same week as the Stone and Stone brothers. I'm pretty sure SD was just like, I think it's another one of them.
It's just many Stone, you know?
Everyone Stone gets passed today.
There is definitely, though,
I like all the Stone.
There's a couple of raw rubs. People who got passed and then unpassed. So where I'm like, I don't know about it.
Oh, sure.
Can I say this?
O'Shane. I think O'Shane got.
Dude, I was there it was like a Wednesday, Liz, remember? And it was like Shane was there and SD was also there weirdly on a Wednesday. But she hated that he went over and then he did like a retarded bit where he like said retard a lot and she did not like that at all.
Oh, you gotta say his last name. You can't say Shane.
Yeah.
Oh, Gillis.
Yeah.
I thought it was Torres.
No.
I was like, Torres did get passed. He's usually
it was Gillis. He like Essie wanted. I feel like she wanted to pass him, but she was like, "But I don't like he does retarded."
He's auditioned twice, or maybe twice.
Are we still live?
Mush, are we still live?
Yeah.
Are we still on YouTube?
Yeah, I can make it not unlock.
Mush, is there anybody watching?
Live, bro.
There are.
Everyone know that this is all being recorded.
Well, one a week late gave us $20 for going late.
Oh, I love him.
Thanks.
He's in Tampa. That's my Florida buddy.
And
This is gonna fuck.
Let's just be Dan Soder, but less.
There's 37 people watching.
I love Shane.
37.
Gillis,
Okay.
but he's there.
And you know who else couldn't have gotten passed?
I love audition.
Shane Torres, where is he? He's going here.
That asshole.
Oh, baby, we love
Cutting
hair.
off Greg.
It's funny, Andy, when she said that to Shane, she was like, I don't like how he says retard. When I auditioned, she went, I don't like retards. And then I had to come back.
It had nothing to do. It was a complete non-sequitur. So Semi-Or avails, and I don't like retards.
There's a comedian, I won't say who it was. He was like, oh man, I just got passed in the shower. And I was like, oh man, did she give you the run over? Or she was like, it's okay. He's like, no. And he showed me the text where she was like, I am so glad I found you. You are my favorite new comedian. I'm like, yeah, that's what it happens when you're from Louisville and Jewish.
When I got passed, I went.
All right, now we know.
Honest as to it is. He's also a great comedian.
He is.
I love him.
He is.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Renan
Hashberg.
Renan.
we got passed?
Yeah, Renan got
great,
passed
dude.
like
Great.
right at the beginning of the pandemic. Like it was. Renan
That's
got
like-
passed. We closed. Like
That
that's
is
how
so
it
his-
was.
Ronon's funny.
Come on, you
Fuck.
can't afford
Liz, why are you in Miami? Come back to New York. I want to hang with you.
Come to Miami.
I done given you this.
It's
I done
open,
let you
man.
do this.
Clubs are open in Florida. Like there's 2 fucking clubs within
Open
driving distance.
Open
Let's
a club
go.
there. Open a cellar there.
Oh my God. I would open one in my parents' living room if I could right now. Are you kidding me?
Wait, Liz,
Liz, you look like you
which
got too
had
much sun
more?
today.
Wait. Did you get kicked out of Sacramento, or was your sister? Or you
No, I made a conscious decision to vacate Sacramento and come to Miami. Because I love
Sweet.
Miami. I love Miami.
Can I
You
come
Sacramento
down?
was great.
flew with your dog in a pandemic
Yeah.
twice countrywide flight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
East
girl.
Coast, West Coast, West Coast, East
Liz,
Coast.
can
Yeah, I
me and
did.
Greg come stay with you and Emilio and Marianne?
Of course, I'm sure they would love to have everybody.
Liz, do you know what you look like right now? You know what you fucking
up.
look like?
Shut up. Who? I don't even want to fucking hear you. What? Who? What?
An angel.
Bird, because it's that.
An angel with wings, a soft angel.
Fuck up.
This becomes like the most gross, like friend, like Liz, we all love you. We're all in love with you.
I
Cheers.
hate you all.
Liz, we're all in love with you. Cheers.
Liz, you're the Rachel of our group.
Hey, Mush, you're gonna be my producer. You know that, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be a producer on your show.
Cool way to make it about you.
Hey, fuck
Oh,
you,
wait.
Andy.
All right,
you
wait.
ugly
That was
bastard.
a very, listen, asshole Stone, that was a very down low way to announce something. Why don't you just tell us what you're doing?
Yeah, mother-
I'm gonna be doing a new show on HBO called "You Got 'Em Boys," and it's where we
HBO Max.
I'm quitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
where we
Maybe.
grab
Just say
boys
what
off
it
the
is.
street and put them in a van and try to convince them they're okay. That's the whole show.
I drive the van.
Mush-
They convince them they're okay.
Yeah, we go, you're fine, it's just a van. Show me it. And I would say, look at them and go, show me it. Show it to me. Show me it. And they go, what? I go, you're okay. Show me it. Show it to me. And Mush
What?
drives the
You know
van.
what?
Yep.
And they pull out insanely demented cocks, and you're like, put it away! Put it away! Put it away! I didn't think you'd actually show it to me.
And we shove them out with their pants down.
That's Greg's origin story.
Wait, Tom,
That's how I became Spider-Man.
Gizmo.
I know you have an issue with turtle.
What's that?
Say it again, Sean. You're
turtle chips yet?
I can't hear you, buddy. What's happening
Have you
there?
tried turtle chips?
No,
What?
I've not tried turtle chips.
Hold
What is
on.
that?
All right, Sean.
What is this?
He's going to get turtle chips. I feel like I need
Liz, you got
tequila.
too much sun today.
You guys know what turtle chips are?
You know, you didn't get
I'm
enough.
not. It's the
The
light.
prank where he's
It's
gonna
the
like show me the
light.
tip of his dick now.
It's all. I'm
Show-
tan.
You show it to us.
Liz had my favorite birthday ever. She goes, "Happy birthday, fuck face."
Right. So these are turtle chips,
Whoa.
right?
I don't know about those.
What are those?
What is that?
What?
You
It's
know I'm a
a
chip boy, Sean.
fluffy, roundabout thing.
If we didn't love Sean Patton enough.
Hold on. I want to hear what Sean's talking about here. What the hell is this?
Turtle chips, right? There they are. They're like that sort of shit. They look like little vaginas. Fluffy. Oh, and it's like salty, sweet at the same time. Have you
That
never heard
sounds
of these?
amazing. I have
Oh,
not
it
even.
comes with the turtle news.
I look like the fucking logo.
Yeah, this is Tom on the logo.
I think that's me.
That's still Coke.
Look,
That's amazing. I've never even heard
the
of that.
whole thing.
I like the way
Yeah.
they're shaped. Are they what kind of material? Are they potato? Are they corn? What are we talking about?
I said corn.
They're like a corn. There's like a cornish representation. Look at that.
That's
It
like
looked
a
like
Trader
like
Joe's.
Funyuns in a
I
different
love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm gonna have one of those.
I'll be honest. I think when all this is over, we should all get together in a king side bed and just lay together. Just as
You just bought a new bed.
I am, but I'm gonna get a
We're
king size
already-
for us.
Are we not already? Was that not the plan?
Yeah, it's kind of weird that you even had to say that.
Hey, can I plug my Twitter?
We're all
Greg
friends in
Stone.
the middle of a conversation. We know we're gonna do that.
Underscore.
Oh
I'm
my
just
God.
again bummed out that Liz is in Miami. Way too far.
I'm telling you, y'all need to get on the road.
I
What's
fucking
the
despise
improv's open down
Sunshine Liz.
here.
I despise Sunshine Liz.
What the
I'm-
fuck does that mean? You despise Sunshine Liz?
I'm
Go fuck
kidding, of course,
yourself.
you asshole.
Just
I'm
because
going
Be with you
I- I-
emotionally
I-
and mentally.
I-
Thank
go
you.
on Thursday.
the what?
Sean?
I'm supposed to be in Asheville, North Carolina on Thursday, but it's a bunch of like local gigs, and then I have actual club gigs the week after. So
What club you
I'm
going
gonna see
to?
you on Monday.
What are you doing?
Dead Crow. Dead Crow Comedy Club in Wilmington.
Oh hell yeah!
Nice.
I need to hit them up. I'm doing Dr. Grin. I told them before you got it on. I'm doing Dr. Grins at the end of the month, and it's a rescheduled date. I think it's gonna happen.
Hey, Tom, when you do that gig, can you talk to them and tell them I'm funny?
Oh, of course, buddy. That's probably I'm going to be feeling a lot of time because I don't want to talk about Corona. So I'll probably mostly talk about that on stage. Hey guys, I know you don't like these jokes. I'm gonna be covered in flop sweat and just go, hey fellas, I know you don't like these jokes, but have you heard of this Greg Stone guy? And then I'm gonna do a few of your jokes.
Well,
you saw that fucking guy, Seth, whatever the fuck his last name is, the guy who attacked Shay years ago. That blogger leads comedy. There was this whole community of like, how dare you as artists do this to the audience? And it's like, wait a second, where is it written that if a comic shows up, audience members have to show up?
Also,
you know what I mean? Like, it's like,
I would love to be able to show that to people in the town when they don't show up to my show. Hey, you're required.
Yeah. You have to be here.
No, it's such a bad take, and also it's so dumb to blame comedians for anything when it comes to trying to make money in this. It's very stupid. I have my own qualms with it because I don't want to get sick and I don't want to make people sick. But if it's a thing where if they want to be safe about it, I want to be safe about it, you know. So it's really
we all do.
Yeah.
I think
Sean, I found this,
you have
Sean.
to be responsible.
Oh, sorry.
There's another flavor.
Yeah. What?
I'm gonna guess.
What is that flavor?
Himalayan salt.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That looks really good, though.
Can I show you? Andy goes, hey, can I go make a drink? Let's fill this tea and Coke. It's like an old Garfield gag. Like, I'll only have half a glass.
You've had multiple of those while we've been recording.
Hey, you guys hammered.
No, it was one the whole time.
Oh, I see. Okay. I will say I'm jealous of that cup.
The big hubby mug.
This is
called that right out.
It's his hubby. Yeah, it's my wife got it for me. He's in my house.
Oh, that's lovely.
My wife loves me because she sees things other people don't.
Interesting that we've never seen her.
It's not a big deal, you know.
Does she
You ever see her?
exist?
You ever see her, Tom? You want to see her? I'll
Yeah.
get her in here right now. I'll get that fucking ugly bitch in here right now.
Oh!
Greg.
I love her. She's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
Dude, before we judged a person's parallel parking job.
Oh my god.
You have to talk in a microphone, dummy.
Oh, I have.
Wait, everyone.
Hang on. Back to you, Andy.
I don't want to anymore.
Wait, so the guilt of I don't know. The guilt of comics traveling is very fucking weird.
The traveling thing, it's complicated, but it's like if a club pays you to do it and people decide to come, these people are adults. They get to decide what they want to do if it's all above board legally. So it's complicated, but you know, we got to make money somehow or else we're going to fucking die. What do you want?
I'll say this though, Tom. This is exactly how it's going to go down. People are going to go being like, oh, it's probably socially distanced. They get into the club. There's zero space in between anybody. And they go, can we have a refund? They go, no refunds.
I will say that it's
on the road club is going to pull it.
Just now, I thought the plane would be socially distanced, and it was not. And also, there were people without masks on, and it stressed the shit.
You know what was weird? It's like when I left New York, it was really hardcore. Like everyone on the plane was masked. Like nobody. The flight attendants were like, "Put your mask on. Put your mask on."
This is what I wanted out of
LA. When I
LA.
left Sacramento, they could have given a shit. The bitch in front of me had her mask connected to her fucking earrings. Like it was a joke. I was like, come on. Really?
I heard a lady in line at Dunkin' Donuts at the airport telling her boyfriend, she was like, he had his mask where his nose, it was like uncovered his nose.
Yeah.
And she was like, you know, I saw something where it's like, if you wear your mask like that, that's like wearing underwear and just like having your penis out. And he goes, I don't wear underwear.
Hell yeah. Dude, I love the guy who's trying to turn Corona into fucking that lady. It's like, I don't have Corona, but I'm going to eat your pussy tonight. What are you doing? What are we? We're humans. We need to make love.
I have Corona, but I don't have Famunda either. You know what I'm saying?
I might have a virus, but I'm going to eat your ass tonight. Fuck you, bitch.
My antibody, I got the antibody. I came back negative.
I'm so upset. I'm so upset that you're negative, asshole.
I know.
I really am.
It means nothing. You can get it again, and most of the antibody tests don't really work anyway. Just so everyone knows.
I figured that like I was literally surrounded by thousands of people like in the weeks leading up to this closing that I would have just like I'd be good. And now this asshole, yeah. Ugh.
I literally,
whatever.
You might be the last person I hugged like, that Saturday.
Yeah. Well,
March
now
14th,
Stone, you and Stone have been making out for the past week and a half. We know.
But we know about how you broke up my brother's marriage.
Yeah.
You are such a fucking asshole. What is wrong with you? Oh my god.
I'm pretty pissed about it still.
Fucking piece of shit.
I'm just glad he found out what his heart like was really made out
You
of.
guys are just born with it, man.
Breaks up a marriage, flees to Florida.
Oh, I'm sorry, Branding.
love it.
Branding.
I love it.
Brandy,
love it.
you're a fine girl. What a great wife you would be.
One of my favorite nights every time you did every fucking time you did Vegas
Hang on.
was the Tuesday night when Rocky would host where it would all go to shit.
Oh, God, real quick.
It is still recording.
Can I ask you, did Rocky Dale Davis actually take a job at McDonald's? Because he posted something on his Instagram, and I don't know if it was real or not. I think he might be working at McDonald's.
No, he's going on tour. Like the last thing I saw on his Instagram is that he's going on tour with some other people.
They got McDonald's
like
in every city.
Dude, if you were in this room, I'd fucking put your cock in my mouth. That's how much that made me laugh, you piece of shit.
You little fucking fuck pig. I dare you to.
Kyle says what's up.
That's not for on the air. We're having on the air time now.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine, Liz. This guy keeps.
Tuesday nights at the Cellar and Vegas were always for reflection.
Because it's also your second night there, so you're like you've had that first night of like, oh, this is great, Coco, and it's like Monday night is Coco's Friday night, so he's like on 100, like he just wants to get out, he doesn't give a shit, and then Tuesday you're like, wait, what is this? Yeah,
right.
it's
Sean,
always
I can't believe you thought I hated you.
Tuesdays are to make you appreciate Mark on Wednesdays.
I know. And then Coco comes back on Wednesdays. You're like, I miss you, Coco.
I need to clip Sean. I can't believe I love nothing but love for you.
It's not what I heard. Just
I don't like you either.
You can't believe this fake little snake bitch Sean has come to you.
Ooh.
Wow.
I'm just a piece of shit. I've been lying the whole time. I've been lying. I got in and I was like, fuck everyone, Cypher host, you beatbox piece of shit.
Mush, stop laughing so hard.
Mush.
Liz, you wear shirts that
Liz was there during one of the greatest weeks of the Vegas history.
Oh yeah, we had
Liz.
such a good fucking time. What?
What are you wearing?
A t-shirt.
What up?
Yeah, I only wear
That's it. That's it. Just a t-shirt. Why are we still live?
What are you wearing?
I gotta
I love the idea that if Liz
All right.
actually showed any of us her vagina, it would blind us all.
Broke my mic. I got so much spit in.
None of us could see it. You're like, ah, hallelujah. And we'd all become blind monks.
This is a very sweet version of Liz. All she texted us was hacks, fags.
I didn't say fag. I didn't say fag. I
She didn't
never
say.
said fag. I said gay. I said gay.
You did say I'm happy I broke up your brother's marriage because you didn't deserve love.
And she said I didn't even have. I felt nothing when I
She
did
was a
it.
fag.
But I did it. I pretended to have feelings for him the whole time. I felt.
Hey guys,
I
in
love
10
it.
years we should come back and do this again.
Somebody put the date down. Somebody mark the date down now.
In 10 minutes, we should go back to this.
This is the greatest night of our lives.
I have got to go.
All right, yeah. Much,
Me
we gotta
too.
end this.
See you,
Enough.
Tom.
I love you all. You all fucking suck. And maybe next week.
I love you guys. It's great seeing you
Bye.
guys.
I want to be with you all spiritually, emotionally, and physically.
We hate you. Goodbye. Get here.